How are we doing? All right, now, so obviously, we know each other fairly well through shows, through events. Is that the first one? Oh, nice, wasn't it? Yes. I did the session. You came to my workshop? Yeah. Yes, that's right. But I think we've spoken on and off on social media.
Oh, yeah, I talked to you, but the first time I met you was at this show 6 years ago.
Fantastic. And then since then, we've both gone on to all sorts of various things. I do this talk with you on the internet, podcasts, I think you call them. And obviously with the workshops, and you've been busy writing a book.
Yes, that's what I've been doing.
Before we do the book, just so that everybody can learn a little bit more about you first. How you first got into the martial arts and why? What was it?
It's a typical story. I have superheroes and I saw martial arts as the link to superheroes. So Sonny Chiba, Bruce Lee, Jackie Chan, all these people that we both grew up on, they were my heroes. I tried martial arts when I was very young, I picked the wrong club. I thought it wasn't for me. I tried again when I was 13, and Tang Soo Do was just a fit. And I tell people all the time, nothing to do with the style, nothing to do with that, just the instructor was great and the club was amazing.
Amazing, yeah. So you mentioned that you teach Tang Soo Do. Is there something particular about that art that attracts you?
Again, I didn't know what Tang Soo Do was before I did it. But when I've done my research about all the stars from the 90s American films like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Cobra Kai, Cynthia Rothrock, you name the list, it goes on and on. They've all done some sort of Tang Soo Do. So I often say, like, if you see a good Western kicker, they've probably done some sort of either Taekwondo or Tang Soo Do, but a lot of the early Taekwondo were Tang Soo Do instructors.
Absolutely. So yeah, you mentioned the kicking element there. I think anybody that's got on social media or Facebook or anything will know you as that guy that's legs are always in the air and things. Yeah. So, right, a technical question for you. I'm in my 40s. My limbs are just about hanging on. But how have you found keeping those skills sharp as inevitably we get older, that constant pushback?
I honestly don't know if I'm as fast as I was, but I think technically I am better kicking now than I ever was. Because I've been trained smart. When I was training back in my 20s, I didn't know about yoga, I didn't know about massage, I didn't know about these things for recovery. So I was constantly in pain. And I would just push through the pain all the time, and I say to everyone all the time, don't do that. That old school method of keep training until you're bleeding, like, or on the floor, don't do it. If you can look after your body, if you can, it's about hitting goals. I'm always trying to hit goals, stretching and things like that. Just making it do a daily challenge, like small steps. I always say people small steps.
Absolutely. Now, if you've not seen us on social media, go look him up, because his videos are not only fun, but inspiring. And I like, you've got the little dog that keeps swimming.
Yes, I always include the dog in the shots because the dog's the real star, not me. So the dog, just for people who see the videos, she likes to roll the ball exactly where I want to land with the kick. So it's always a game of, like, will Gus break his neck now when the dog roll the ball into the street.
And what I really admire about your videos as well is that with social media, a lot of the time, especially martial artists and people like us who like to kick, the majority of the time, people only share the finished products. You like to share the journey. And some of the videos you've put on there, it's literally 20, 30 reps of fail. Until you get the finished thing.
That's the thing, you can edit out anything, you can edit out the mistakes and the imperfections. So I'm a big person, like, obviously I don't want to bore people and say that stuff all the time, but sometimes I will show me doing a kick a number of times and go, look, it's not the first time. And I fall over more than anyone. So I just think, like, skaters do it, and it's totally accepted in skating culture. Fails in skating has been around forever. Fails in martial art don't have the same reputation. I just say, like, look, I'm not perfect, I make mistakes all the time. And when you see the look in my face, like when you told me I would do the kick up, that one time when I did the kick up, that's like 150, like 2,010%. And when I do it over the moon, I'm just like, yeah, I did it. And I tell people all the time, I can't remember that. Did I do that? Oh, just you told me I would do the kick up. I sent you the video, I thanked you, or a bunch of
oh, yes.
During lockdown, yeah.
I think I remember now, yeah.
So I got on lockdown, I thank all the people who helped me and taking the time out to yourself and other people who are so generous with your time to make videos for me and help me. And that's the thing, it's this collaborative thing about martial arts where it's not like I'm against you all the time. It's more about, like, let's see who can help out, let's see who can train together. This is why I love events like this, because they just come along, and if I can split myself 5 ways, I'll be training with all 5 rings. I just have to, like, pick which one to train with, and I know it's always difficult.
Absolutely. Now, I'm going to be a little bit selfish again. I'm going to ask some questions from me. You've created a series of videos. I mean, they're entitled Kitchener, and I've always wondered, was that influenced by Eric's? Right. I did wonder if that connection was there.
The story comes from my friend asked me how many kicks I knew, and I said that it's probably about 100. And then I made 100 videos myself, and I uploaded that video, and I wondered, I wonder if anyone else has done this. Yeah. I found Eric's video straight away, and I was just blown away. I was like, this guy is incredible. This guy is just, the kicks he was doing, and I love the names. Yeah. The names Eric had for his kicks were just so inspired, and that's why I'm like, every kick should have a name. That's important.
This is what Eric is,
Eric Jacobus.
Eric Jacobus, he's an American stunt performer.
You've seen him in God of War.
Yeah, he does a lot of motion capture. He actually runs a motion capture company now, but we're getting a bit geeky and stuff. Okay, that's cool. So, how did all of this then translate into a book? Which I'm going to do.
Pass the book.
I'm going to do the thing you do with the book.
So, again, as you know, martial arts has many different things. Very hefty feeling. It's a lot. Honestly, I don't even go around all this. It's a lovely, thick, quality book. Not like those books you get off Amazon that are cheap. I've really tried. It's a local printers as well, so I'm really pleased with it. Very cool. So again, there's many aspects of martial arts. So obviously the kickshooting is fun, but I would never tell someone you're going to win in a self-defense situation with a 720 hook. So there's the self-defense element.
Fun to try.
Oh, I mean, I would try. And Ian Abernathy always tells me, he goes like, you could do this kick, no one else could. So what I'm saying, for like, no who I teach, it's not going to work for a 75-year-old. But this book should hopefully help for a 75-year-old. Because that means it's most for a younger person or a smaller person. So this is, if you look at the kickshooting as the fun side of what I love doing, this is the self-defense practical side, which I also love equally. But it's two sides of the coin, it's contact. Kickshooting is pure martial arts fantasy, and this is self-defense. So you have kata forms, we have kata forms, oftentimes you just learn them at past graders or win the trophies. So the book is basically, the kata is the drill, then you have to test your partner, which most people don't do. And then there's a principle, which you have to learn, and then you have to pressure test it. And this is what these guys are doing now as they go around the place. They're being shown stuff and they go, alright, play with it, test it out. And that's something else that we don't tend to do in stand-up styles. Grappling styles do it all the time. Stand-up styles just go with competition fighting, and then we've got other drills. But there's something between, which I call practical self-defense, or what I'm naming the book, Korean behind Hosei So, pressure test for self-defense.
Absolutely. So, I'm just curious, with the research list, did you, because I mean, again, I'm going to geek out over here now, so my background is in takeover, so I've done Olympic salary more recently, I say more recently, since I was young, so I was like a teenager. And one of the things that I did, just my own curiosity, is going back through the history of those forms and the origin, and a lot of them track back quite far. And a lot of the social services that a lot of the application sites have been lost or confused. And when you track it back far enough, maybe to show someone further back, you get to see that this thing we've been doing as a coach, it's actually correct. And it's somewhere it's been lost, whether it's just through instructors guessing, and then that gets passed down, or whether it's the original text is gone.
The simple way to look at it is today a lot of people take their cameras and film stuff so they don't go home and forget it and do the same thing. But back like when they went to an island, like when Okinawa, and they met like a master who was amazing, they trained with him for a day or a week or a month and then sailed back and then forget what they learned. So they practice all the individual moves as a solo form, and then they go back and they show their skill. And that's how form started. But then the applications got lost in the meantime.
If you're not careful, it's a rabbit hole that you go down.
But the book is basically a journey from white to black, and how each pressure test can become more difficult. And the unique thing about the book is I put in QR codes for every section, so you don't just have to read it, you don't just have to look at the pictures like you and I would have done when we were younger. You can look at the video, and not only can you look at the video, you can talk to me, the author, through comments.
So wow.
And I can personally, it's like an interactive book.
That's very cool.
So the syllabus can change for your style. So let's say you're a Taekwondo practitioner. You could send me a comment, and link me to a video and go, yeah, but what about my form? And then I can look at it and go, well, this is how your form would do that movement. But it's the same. It comes from the same place.
Yeah, a lot of it all tracks back to the same.
So I try to make, even though it comes from the practical world, I try to make it for any traditional practitioner, karate, Taekwondo, Kung Fu, anyone who has forms should be able to take the principles in this book and apply it to their art.
Amazing. Okay, well, if anybody is interested in, first of all, finding out, Gus does have a store over to, as we're on the stage.
Next to the big lightning.
Yes, next to the store.
Big lightning.
Also organizers. So you're just nestled between the Steve Roll and the lightning. That seems quite appropriate. And also you're going to be doing a workshop later on as well, and you're going to be covering some book.
So I'm going to give like an overview of the book, simple rules, models and principles, and then we'll have a little pressure test.
So on zone 4, 10 minutes past 3. Fantastic. That's great.
Very precise.
Well, I feel some pressure now to make sure we stick to that time slot. But thank you for your time. I could just keep thinking about this all afternoon, but I think people want to go on my workshop.
Come talk to me later, it's fine.
Fantastic. Well, cheers. Thank you, sir.
Always a pleasure.
And I'm going to make sure I get a copy of this and read it.
Thank you very much, I appreciate it.
If for no other reason than just send annoying comments.
Yeah, there you go. Please do.
Thank you. Cheers.